This video is how to draw a unicorn. It's basically how to draw a horse, but then of course unicorns sometimes have on other details that horses don't. All right, so first of all, to start my horse, I'm gonna start with 3 ovals in the middle, or sorry, 3 circles. I guess the middle one's more like an oval, the end 2 are more like circles. From here, I'm gonna have the front leg come straight down out of here, kind of right from the center, do a knee, straight down, do kind of like an ankle-y thing, push my hoof forward. The hoof's kind of shaped like a bell. Make sure it's curved at the bottom. You don't want it to be perfectly flat because then it looks kind of 2D as opposed to 3D. The back leg is going to go back and then down, and then again that hoof will come forward. Try to estimate like that these hooves are ending it's kind of a diagonal line, kind of at about the right area, and if they're not, just bump that hoof up a little bit more or bring it down, whatever you think needs to happen. Okay, there's the back hoof. All right, let's see here. We're gonna have another front leg that kind of goes out and then back in, and then the hoof is gonna sit like right there. And we're gonna see another back leg out here that is a little bit shorter. So let's see, this should be at the same spot, but then this hoof will end up a little bit higher, like so. Okay, so now we're gonna give these legs muscles because obviously horses are very strong creatures. When I do this top oval, I'm gonna overlap the body, overlap the knee joint, and get a little bit thicker up at the top. This one here is just gonna be long and lean. I'm gonna totally engulf that bottom ankle joint kind of thing. And then at the back, this guy is gonna get much bigger towards the top. So it's gonna basically like be the whole width of that back circle. In fact, you know what, I'm gonna make that back circle a little bit bigger. Horses have pretty strong chests and pretty strong butts, let's be honest. I said butt again, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna outline, do an oval, excuse me. It's okay if this oval goes behind that hoof a little bit, because when you see the back of a horse's leg, they do kind of have like a little bump out back there from the hoof. Okay, on the other one, I'm gonna overlap completely. I know it can get confusing in there when you're overlapping, and if you're like me and you like to draw multiple lines, not just one, well then yeah, there's gonna be a lot of lines in there. What I'm gonna do later, I'm gonna change the opacity on this later and give it a nice dark outline so you guys can see. So see how I'm overlapping the body quite a bit, and I'm overlapping any previous ovals that are drawn also quite a bit. And then here I'm just gonna draw in the shape of this hoof. Remember, curved at the bottom of the hoof, not flat. Okay, so we have something looking kind of like legs. For the horse's neck, or the unicorn's neck, I'm gonna come straight up out of here. I want this to look like it's holding its neck really up tight. And then here I'm gonna do a circle kind of coming forward and overlapping. I will connect these, make these look more like a head and a fluid neck into the body. Just give me just a minute to do that. The snout is gonna come down and out this way, and then I'm gonna draw in a circle that's not far off from the other circle and obviously a little bit smaller, okay? These circles are pretty close together in proximity though, so make sure yours are as well. I'm gonna work my way, I'm gonna kind of make like a roof of a house here at the tip of the nose, curl under this jaw, and really define the bottom of this circle. This is gonna create the cheekbone of that horse. If you guys have ever seen a horse's cheekbone, it's like the size of a dinner plate, so it's pretty prominent. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna smoothly connect the head into the neck. So I'm gonna draw in an arc back there, smoothly connect the neck into the back. And I'm actually just gonna do like a swoop over the back just to make that look more like one connected shape. I'm thinking now I should have made this center circle or oval a little bit bigger too, because you tend to see a horse's belly kind of droop down underneath the back. Not that they have like a, you know, a fat belly or anything like that. It's kind of like just a large body. Okay, I'm kind of defining where the neck runs right down into the chest there. For a horse's tail, they have like bone and cartilage at the top here that kind of help it to flip up. And then from there it's hair. Now I'm not gonna go in and draw in every individual hair because anytime you do that, it can become overwhelming. And when you look at hair, you don't necessarily see every individual hair unless you're really close. But you see instead, or you see the outlines of the hair, and then you see shadows in between. So we're gonna draw some shadows in between, like some locks of hair. So then I'm gonna kind of define, like, okay, here's a prominent lock of hair that kind of overlaps those ones. this one, there's kind of a crease in between. I'll do like that. And then maybe like in this area, we'd see like a line. I don't know, wherever you guys want to draw lines is fine. All right, so there's the tail. If I've overlapped the leg with the tail at all, I'm gonna go in and erase. I'm gonna draw in the ear, horn, and mane, and then we'll kind of, you know what, I'm gonna go in and clean up the edges now. Well, I kind of already did that. All right, let me do this, guys. Let me make this a little bit, I'm gonna change the opacity on this layer, and then I'm gonna add a new layer, and I'm gonna go in with like a bluish purple color, and I'll try and show you guys like what to do from here, okay? All right, so now, I kind of already cleaned up the head, but let me do that a little bit more. I'm gonna make this front nostril a little bit more prominent. I'm gonna come up in here to like an eyebrow bone to the top of the head. You guys can like define a lip if you want to, like kind of bring this top lip out. You don't have to, you could just leave it kind of plain if you'd rather. I'm really gonna define that dinner plate cheekbone. By dinner plate, I just mean dinner plate in size. I'm gonna keep the curve at the front of the neck because their neck is really strong. And then I'm gonna define that chest. I'm gonna come back in here to the back. On the butt, I'm actually gonna draw like a corner here because their bums are very strong, that's why. So it makes it look more muscular when you add angles like that. The top of the leg should overlap the body right here. I'm gonna go down into the knee, into the bottom part of the leg. I'm gonna go a little bit more smoothly into the hoof here. Their legs are pretty knobby. I kind of made that look maybe a bit much, but you still see their knees and things poke out from there. I'm gonna make the belly a little bit smoother than those ovals. The belly's gonna run right down into that back leg. Remember, there's one leg that's in front of the body and there's one leg that's on the other side. So the leg that's in front of the body, you could see like a little bit of a line in front of the body like that. And the leg that's behind, we're not gonna see it start until the body. So the line will come directly out of the body. And I'll show you what that should look like now. So this one will start from the body, go down, hoof, bump at the back of the leg. Okay? By the way, you can go in on the hooves and add in like a curve here. Slightly bigger at the front, a little smaller at the back. Okay, this one over here, I'm gonna start from the body. I'm gonna make this look a little bit more angular at the knee. I'm gonna do some overlap here where the leg's kind of squished onto itself. And then I'm gonna draw in that hoof again, a little bit bigger at the front, which would be down here. Okay, if you're drawing in a horse eye, they should be right up here. I'm gonna start with a circle, and then I'm gonna draw an oval overlapping. Now this one looks kind of angry. If you want them to look less angry, sorry about that. Let's see here. Have that eyelid tip back a little bit more. Okay, there you have it. You can draw in a nostril, right in this area maybe. The ears should kind of go forward. I don't know if I'm gonna see another ear yet. Let's just draw in the unicorn horn, kind of coming right down out of this direction. Okay, so to draw a unicorn horn, instead of just drawing it in like, you know, here's a horn, I don't know, I feel like it just looks very unbelievable. What I do instead is I'll go over this line and I'll start with an oval on a diagonal. At the bottom, I'm gonna start pretty big, and what I'm gonna have these ovals do is slightly decrease in size as I go upward. Kind of like that. And maybe I'll add a little curve here at the bottom. Then I'm gonna go in with my eraser, erase any line that protrudes out of the top, and then I'm gonna erase down the middle. And that'll basically give me the look of that curving unicorn horn. If you wanted to go back in later and you wanted to add in like, you know, like shadows under each part of the curve, I think that would really make it look very realistic. You could add parts of the unicorn's mane kind of coming down through here, maybe like going down under the forehead. That looks a little bit billowy. Let me do like that. There we go. And then if you have the mane overlapping the horse at all, you'll just want to erase inside there. I'm going to draw the horse's mane kind of going back like this, just kind of flipping. I'm going to have some pieces go over the body. So really, you don't need to, the hair is long, it's kind of like drawing fire, you know, like it's kind of like drawing these points and curls of fire. I'm going to erase where it overlaps the body or anything else. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw in like defined tufts of hair or shadows around the hair. Because remember, you don't see every individual hair. you're just going to see sort of like these shapes kind of swiveling through. I'm going to draw a little curl going out that way. And as you go along, if you want to break this shape at all, like let's say I wanted to add in another little something here, then you could just go in and erase areas that you had in there before. Erase and adjust. So there's the unicorn's mane. And then the tail I'd already drawn in, so I'm just going to pretty much trace that, maybe add in a little bit more gesture as I go. Maybe some more pieces at the end where it looks a little bit more broken or less perfect. I'm going to draw a little piece in here. There we go. So now it's getting a little bit more like coming to life. All right, next thing I'm going to do for our unicorn is add on wings. Part of this wing will overlap the hair and part of it will be behind the hair, or what I should say is the wing on this side of the body will overlap the hair and the wing on the other side will not. By the way, I'm going with more like a bird wing. So it's going to be kind of curving on these ends like big feathers. And these feathers are pretty much just going to go down to meet the butt, essentially. Then you could draw in additional feathers in here. Erase if you want anything to overlap or make adjustments as you go. You could add tons of feathers or you could just kind of keep it simple and not add that many. So keep going in as far as you want to go in with feathers, making sure that just drawing in basically like these rounded forms. And again, even on each individual feather, if you wanted to go in and add, you know, like a detail on the feathers, you could do that as well. Okay. On the back wing here, the back wing is going to come up like this, be a little bit shorter then. We're going to see the tip of the wing come out here. I'm going to erase where I've overlapped the other one. On this one, I'm going to erase inside the hair because I want the hair to look, or the mane to look like it's in front of that wing. And then on the front wing, I'm going to make it look like the wing is overlapping the hair. So I'm going to erase the hair inside the wing. So creating feeling of overlap really helps to create realism and a feeling that like, oh yeah, this really looks like it's taking up space and, you know. All right. So I think that's it for the unicorn. If you want to think about when you're adding background, doing like, I don't know, I usually tend to do like fire and castles and things with the dragon, like rocky mountainous areas. And then I tend to think more about like water, trees, foliage, things like that for the unicorn. Basically, when adding any background though, you guys just want to go in, add like a horizon line back there, erase where your horizon line goes over your creature, and then just start adding. Remember that things in the background should be slightly smaller than they would be in the foreground. So I'm just going to add like a little tiny tree right back there. Okay, there's my little tree. Okay, yeah, feel free to add whatever you guys want to the background. Good luck.